Do you own a Mercedes T1 and have you replaced the shoes in the rear and now your handbrake's not working? Yeah, I can tell you why. So what I have here is a new drum, but just because mine's kind of old, probably the original. And then I have my original shoes that I got relined by a company called Saftec Limited in Cleckheaton. So you can check them out. There they are. These pads have been fitted just like the original, just like they would have come from Mercedes, because these are the original Mercedes style. Don't know if these are original, they probably have been replaced at some point. But as you can see, they're all riveted on. They've done a really nice job. They've painted all the metal to try and stop it rusting any further. And yeah, there's 4 of these. Obviously got this one with the arm that is your handbrake, and this is what is not as precise. All of these little notches and stuff cut out are not as precise on aftermarket shoes, so when you put your handbrake, it doesn't work. That's basically what I've concluded. So you have to use Mercedes original shoes if you want your handbrake to work. Al from 6D Diesels has done a video about it. I'll link it in the description below, but he has said that Mercedes shoes, if you're getting any problems with your handbrake and you've replaced your shoes, even in early sprinters, the shoes are the problem. Get the Mercedes original ones and they should be fixed. This is what I'm hoping, at least. I've been banking on this. Everything else in this brake system has been replaced, apart from the drum, which is here as well. So once I've done this today, she should be good. I have replaced, as I said, the centre handbrake cable, the rear handbrake cables, the wheel cylinders, the shoes in the past, the spring pack from Mercedes, which you can buy for 17 quid, and now the drums and original shoes. So for this you need a PH3. Or 4 usually. You also need to slacken the shoes off on the back. They've got little winders on the back. I wish it provided you with new screws with the drums, but it doesn't. Good lad, Yoshi. You come to work with me. Got the Yoshi helping over here now. Should we make him star of the show? I think so. There you go, Yoshi, you're in the video now. So yeah, I just got to keep loosening these shoes off, it just takes forever. Jesus Christ, that was a pain in the ass. So here we have the inside of my drum. Well, the shoes. Here is the actual inside of the drum. There's quite a lip on there, like a fair few mil. You can kind of see down in there where it kind of steps up again. So yeah, this drum is well used, despite it still having, you know, plenty of metal left. I think it's had its time. So in here you have a spring at the bottom, and then you've got 2 springs up here, and I think that is it. And then you just have this bar across which joins the handbrake lever. So you've got this lever here that is the handbrake that I showed you, and as you pull the cable it pulls the little bit down there behind the spring that you can't see, pulls the lever and pushes this bar down here against both shoes to push them out. But when you pull this bar, you see how it's loose. Basically when you pull the handbrake it just takes up all that slack and then doesn't actually apply the handbrake. But as you can see, this is what the new pad's meant to look like. It has caned through it because this handbrake kept getting stuck on. So even though these shoes are about a year old, they are fucked. They are completely fucked, and I've sprayed a load of WD-40 in here now, so new ones on the way. To get these off, these are quite simple. You use a pair of flat nose pliers, bob that on, twist it, take that off. That's another spring in there with 2 metal plates, and then there's your wheel cylinder, which kind of looks a bit fucked up, doesn't it? They look like they're going up and up. This was, I think, off Coastal Motorhomes. Aiden gave me it, so they might not be the best, but if they last, then as long as they work, then they work. I might just get a spare pair just in case one goes. What a handsome boy. So I've just remembered what I do. I take the bottom spring off, which is this one. It joins the bottoms of the shoes, so now they're loose at the bottom. I then take the 2 little retaining pins and springs out, which are those ones there. So take them out. One of them, and one this side as well. Now the shoes are loose, and then you take each pad off carefully, leaving it away from this, and that seemed to be work because these are very tough springs, these top ones. Pull it out the bottom one like that, so the bottom's loose, and then spin it round and remove the spring. So there you are. That is the easiest way. And to put it back in, you make sure that's in that hole in the shoe, put that in there, and then spring it over the wheel cylinder. You do have to be careful about the little pins in the wheel cylinder to make sure they don't pop out or lose them. If they pop out, it's not the end of the world because it should be sealed behind. If it's leaking behind, then you need to replace them. And then same with this one, pull it out the bottom. Also take the handbrake cable off this one. There's also this little bar to take out. This also has a spring. If you buy a spring kit, it does come with all this stuff as well. So yeah, I highly recommend buying the spring kit from Mercedes, not from Coastal Motorhomes, because half the bits don't fit as usual. And then just pull this off. This has got the handbrake cable still attached. Right, that one's a bit of an arse because of the handbrake cable, but then you can take the handbrake cable off. There we go. And this is a cheap shit shoe. So should we see if there's much different? So there with the difference. I can already tell it's made of thinner steel. And looking at that arm, that is very different. I mean, look, when this arm is pushed in, you can see it's level with that. On the Mercedes one, when the arm's pushed in, it still sticks out a bit. This is the arm behind. It doesn't go in all the way. It hits that. This was sitting flat outways, and then as you pulled the handbrake cable, it was taking that much to take up the slack, and then that was it. Then the handbrake was on, but it wasn't actually working. So these just are shit. And as you can see, there's no rivets anywhere in these, so I don't really trust them. Oh, also, look at that. Completely different up there, and completely different down here. Just so much cheaper, these shit ones. And less pad. Look at that. They scrimp on the pad. Doesn't go to the end. So yeah, highly would recommend just using your original shoes. There we are, I just got the first difficult one on. And now I'm going to put the easier one on, which is the one that doesn't need the handbrake. Trying not to cover everything in copper grease, but epically failing. So brake cleaner will be needed. So yeah, stick that in there. Then to the top of the wheel cylinder. Try not to poke the other one out. And then into the bottom of the wheel cylinder. There we go. I think this adjuster's a bit seized because it was really stiff. Right, so quick wire brush on these, and then smother them in copper grease so hopefully they don't get all stiff again, because that was a nightmare getting this shoe off, this drum off, because I couldn't wind the shoes in because they were seized, which is not what I want. That's why there was WD-40 in the drum, so I was kind of banking on getting it out. Here we are, lathered in lovely copper grease, then bob it in there. Wind these in probably all the way because there's new pads, new shoes and new drums. There we go. They're both now nicely greased up. Way, let's not cause chaos. So yeah, I just found out then that you can take these little adjusters out. You just pull them out by the looks of it. At least that's what's happened on mine. Although this side hasn't popped out, so maybe it shouldn't happen. Don't forget this little handbrake piece. Common thing to forget. The springy bits go away from the lever side. So now for the retaining pins, I've just put the bottom spring on. That's pretty easy, just a pair of pliers. I can't find my stubby pliers, so I'm just using long nose, which aren't quite as good for grip, but never mind. Yeah, you get this little, if you buy the Mercedes ones, they're blue, these little springs, and the top ones are red. And then that just goes in there. You line that up with the head of the pin. You can almost do it by hand, you can push it in by hand. You just need something to twist the end with, so pair of pliers, push in, hold the outer bit with your finger, and twist the middle bit if you can. There we are. Not too bad. Right, I'm going to get some brake cleaner, clean up all that, clean the new drum, bob that drum on, get the wheel on, do the other side. That's the plan. Look at this shiny beast. So hopefully this is the right size. Because if it's not, I'm fucked. I think it is. It's going to take a bit of steel winding in to... Oh, now I've put that bottom spring in, that's not as easy to take out. Oh, what a cunt. Right, that is all together. So hopefully that now means copper grease on this, remember Max? Otherwise it'll get stuck again. And before I forget, some on here too. Hopefully the wheel won't stick this time. But yeah, what you want to do is just make sure the centre handbrake cable's loose and the winders are loose, and then what you want to do first is line these up so it's just touching, which I think it is, because these are new. I can just feel the resistance. And then you want to make sure both sides are done and adjusted here. Then you want to adjust the centre handbrake cable, take up most of the slack but not all of it, and then adjust it so you're around 5 to 7 clicks. I think they say 3 to 5 clicks, but they give a bit of toleration on these older vans. So yeah, just basically, yeah, that's how you adjust it. Shoes first, make sure they're only just touching, and back them off one so they're not rubbing and they're not going to get hot and overheat. And then you adjust the centre handbrake cable to make your handbrake feel right, and then you should be good to go. So I'm going to crack on, do the other side, and then we'll come back for the moment of truth. So I now have a working handbrake. As you can see, this spins nice and freely. Best way to adjust them is to hit them with a hammer once as you tighten them. So this is now only on a few clicks. It was almost up by the fucking seatbelt thing. Now, just after a few clicks with one hand, that's locked on solid. So yeah, good to go. We're all fixed. The thing is with drums, you might have to tighten them up a little bit after a while, after a few miles, but once that's done, you should be good. So yeah, tighten the centre handbrake cable, done all that, and now it all works and it's feeling good. So that's going to be it for this week's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the thumbs up and drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you've not already. Yeah, subscribe for more Mercedes T1 content, and I hope this helped. Any questions, ask in the comments below, and as I say, always check the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.